Alright, welcome back, mathematicians. We're going to finish up lesson 11.6, where I'm trying to explain how to add and subtract rational expressions. Basically, that's adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. So I did one example for you already in part 1, and now I'd like to do two more. And actually, the example I did in part 1 was the most difficult, and each example that I do now, it actually just gets easier and easier. So I started with the toughest example, and I'm going from most difficult to least difficult. Alright, so here's example number 2. Let's say you have 3y minus 1 all over y squared minus 64 minus 3 over y plus 8. Alright, first step, if you go back to the steps, first step is factor. Factor first. Factor first. Can this numerator be factored? No. There's no GCF. It's not the difference of perfect squares, so it's done. Can this be factored? Yes. It's the difference of perfect squares. So it'll be y plus 8 times the quantity of y minus 8. Alright, leave a little space here because you'll probably possibly have to do something there when you get a common denominator. Then there's the minus, and then this cannot be factored, nor can this. So 3 over y plus 8. Alright, now we need a common denominator because we're subtracting. This has a y plus 8, so does this. This has a y minus 8, this one doesn't. So it needs a y minus 8, and it's very critical that you multiply not only the denominator but also the numerator. Okay, so I've got a common denominator. These denominators are the same. And when you multiply the bottom of a fraction, you also have to multiply the top. Alright, the next step, if you check your steps there, the third step, is simplify the numerators. Leave the denominator alone. Simplify the numerators. So this numerator here, there's really nothing you can do. So we'll leave it 3y minus 1. And we will leave this denominator alone. Minus. And this numerator we can distribute. So I'm going to distribute. That'll give me 3y minus 24. And I'm going to leave the denominator alone. Don't bother multiplying out the denominator. It's extra work you don't need. Alright, the next step, add and subtract like terms in the numerators. You can only add, the rule for adding fractions or subtracting fractions is leave the denominator the same, leave it alone, and just deal with numerators. Just add or subtract numerators. Now there's a subtraction here, so you have to remember to distribute the negative. Very important and a real common mistake kids make. Alright, so here we go. We have 3y minus 3y. 3y minus 3y, that's gone. Then we have a negative 1 minus a negative, because you're distributing the negative. So a negative 1 minus a negative means plus. So a negative 1 plus 24 makes 23. And then just leave the denominator alone. Y plus 8 quantity times the quantity of y minus 8. And there you go. There's your final answer. Alright, we'll try one more. I saved the easiest for last. So this is example number 3. 3k plus 2 over k minus 3 minus 2k plus 5 over k minus 3. Alright, first step, factor. Can this be factored? Nope. Can this be factored? Nope. How about this? Nope. This? No. All right. Step 2, get a common denominator. I already have a common denominator. Step 3, add or subtract the numerators. Keep in mind you might have to distribute a negative, and I do have to distribute a negative. All right, so every example I did involved subtraction, distributing a negative. If this was plus, then you would just add up like terms. But minus, you have to distribute. Okay, so 3k take away 2k. 3k take away 2k is just 1k. And a positive 2 take away a 5. Positive 2 take away a 5 is negative 3. Leave the denominator k minus 3. I have k minus 3 over k minus 3. K minus 3 over k minus 3. That cancels. And you get 1. Not 0. Remember, when you cancel, you get 1. Like 10 over 10. What's 10 over 10? 1, right? So anything divided by itself is 1. So your final answer? 1. All right, I hope this was helpful. Feel free to go back and re-watch, especially that first example because it was the toughest. And give it a shot. All right, good luck.